Hi, I'm Jess. I'm the events officer here at Hereford Cathedral, and I'm sat with Gordon Taylor, who's been our cathedral photographer for 39 years. Hi, Gordon.
Hi.
Hello. I'd love you to tell us a little bit more about your life as a photographer and where that began.
Well, it all started when I was 6. My father put a brownie box camera in my hands and it went from there. And I began taking photographs, as long ago as that, really. And then eventually, once I was employed by the Public Health Laboratory Service, we started a photographic unit when we built the new laboratory, because we put a dark room in there. And that enabled us to start a photography service for the hospital. And that was back in 1974.
So what year did you end up getting involved at the cathedral?
That was 1984, but before that, in the winter of 1980, we had a very cold snap of about -10 degrees, and it was one Saturday morning. I said to my wife, I'm going out, I'm going to go and see what I can get. So off I went, and the first photograph I took that day was of the cathedral across the river, and it was just right. Everything was perfect, so I was able to take that photograph. And subsequently, I put it in the drawer and left it. And then in 1983, late 1983, the Friends had posted a note in the Hereford Times saying that they wanted to publish a Christmas card for that year.
Right.
And did anybody have any photographs? And I didn't see the post, but my wife did, and she said, you ought to take that photograph that you took and show them and see what they think about it. So eventually I did. I took it up to the secretary of the Friends, and he just looked at it and said, oh, that's exactly what I wanted. And so eventually they published it as a Christmas card that year, and it just flew off the shelves.
And we still sell it now.
That you still,
yeah,
that's absolutely right. Yeah.
It's one of the big sellers.
Yes, that's right. And in fact, they did a double print that year. And eventually, I mean, this photograph is now sold over 60,000 copies.
Yeah.
So that was my first introduction to the cathedral. I didn't think much of it until the Dean contacted me and said, would I like to take some photographs that year of the fabric, the people, of the cathedral generally, because they needed some publicity for an appeal that was coming up in the following year, which was because one of the buttresses on the tower had split, and they were worried that it might fall as a result of further frosts.
Right.
So that was my first introduction, and that year I provided something like 1,000 photographs for publicity for the appeal for the tower.
Fantastic. And you've been photographing every year for 39 years since?
Well, yeah, that was my first introduction, and after that the Dean would say to me, are you coming this afternoon, Gordon? I would say, well, what's on? And he would tell me about something that was on, some event, and so I eventually ended up taking photographs for the cathedral and working with the cathedral. And then, of course, I retired from my job, and after that I became sort of full part-time, as it were.
Fantastic. And you're here every Monday,
Yeah.
and you're based up here in the reading room in the library.
That's right, yeah.
And you go around site, and you're always seen with your camera, and you come to a lot of the events and services that we run.
That's right, yeah.
It's quite a busy job.
It has been busy, yes, and we've amassed a huge collection of photographs in the archive, and that's one of my jobs, is to monitor the archive and to make sure that we've got everything that we need, really.
That's fantastic. So you must have a lot of favourite things to photograph and a lot of more memorable photographs that you've taken over the years. Can you think of any now?
I always regard them as markers on the journey which I've taken, along that time. Of course, that was the first one. And then subsequently, some of the photographs that I took for the appeal encompassed things like this, for example. That was Roy Massey taking a choir practice in the old song school, which is now where the exhibition is.
And he's got a lovely sheepdog.
Yeah, that
at the
was
foot
Bruce.
of the piano.
And then other photographs that we've done in the past. This one's been used on a pop-up for many years in the cathedral. We did postcards, and so this was another one that was used as a postcard. And then one or two other things that I've done. I work with the gardeners, and the gardens always surprise me.
Right.
And that was growing out of the compost heap one June day.
Very fertile compost
Yeah, it was
heap,
just lovely, perfect arrangement, and just wanting to be photographed. And this was just recently in the frost this year.
In our very cold winter we've just had.
Yeah. So here we are.
Here we are. Thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful hearing some of your memories and an amazing 39 years as our cathedral photographer.
My pleasure.